Welcome. My name is Nate Crowley. We're going to be talking about paternity leave in the business world today. So first of all, only 9% of work sites across America right now offer a paid paternity leave, which is pretty shocking considering that almost every other work site in America is offering some sort of maternity leave, although that's not 100%, but it is a large number, much larger than 9%. We just need to break the stigma that there is no need for a paternity leave. Both parents are much needed when it comes to their child being born or brought into their family. And for example, the stigmas that exist currently are just, I think everyone is afraid of their boss, potentially, that their boss is going to be upset whether the husband leaves or the father leaves work for an extended period of time, as well as I think everyone within themselves has this expectation. Many husbands have that expectation of themselves that they need to be at work and help providing for their family, which that may be the case for them in their individual circumstance. However, paternity leave is extremely important for the mother and the baby, and even the father himself, and maybe other children if they have other kids as well. So that's the first thing that needs to be talked about, is breaking that stigma. The next is really important, which is the health of the mother and the baby. So there's a lot of studies going around and have shown that there's positivity with skin-to-skin contact with the baby and the father. I think it's pretty well known that skin-to-skin contact is very important for the mother and the baby. But there's also studies showing that it's important for the father to have that time too, to bond with the baby, as well as it helps the baby have grow themselves. There's signs of how their temperature, they're not running fevers when the father participates in skin-to-skin contact, and as well as that helps the mother get some sleep. That the mom has time to go away, and that not necessarily meaning that the father has to be having that skin-to-skin contact at all times, but that the mom needs to be able to have her own time to be able to rest. And I think most parents will know that you don't get a lot of sleep when you have a newborn. They wake up often, and so it's good for both parents to be there, to be able to participate and help when the other one's taking care of the baby, that the other one can be helping themselves have that self-love and self-help. But yeah, both those things are super important, as well as the mental health of the mother could also be benefited by the father being there, as well as the father not thinking about other things, but just being able to be present, knowing that everything's okay, is also helping his mental health. Next is exactly what I just said, that the father's mental state will be better once he gets back to work, that he'll be able to feel fulfilled, that he knows that his wife and his baby are doing well, now that he knows that he spent an extended period of time with both of them. Whereas if he goes to work a day or 2, 3 days maybe after the baby's being born, his mind is not going to be on his work. His mind is going to be on his baby and his wife back at home, and that just creates problems all over the place in the workplace. I think it is less productive for the parents or for the father specifically, to not be there in the event that he's not even focused on what he's doing at work. So that, as well as once he gets back, like I mentioned, he'll be able to finally focus on his work and just be excited about what he's going back to that providing that I mentioned at the beginning. There's also studies done that postpartum depression isn't exclusive to women, that there are men that suffer from that potentially, and so that time frame of having a paternity leave can give the father that extra amount of time that he needs with the baby, and maybe to recover from a potential PPD. So. And then next is gender equality. So in the case that, for example, there could be 2 husbands that are married to each other that adopted a child and could have a newborn, and if there's no such thing as a paternity leave, then if one of them's a working dad, then do they not get the chance to go spend time with their husband and their baby? As well as the whole LGBTQIA plus community. There could be a lot of different circumstances where paternity leave isn't qualified simply by their gender. So that needs to change, is just simply in the fact that that just may be the dynamic of their family, that should be offered to both mom and dad, depending on their circumstances, which also leads into if there's a working mother and a mother and a father, and she's the one that provides the income for the family, well, she probably needs to get back to work, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because she's the one providing, there is that maternity leave like we talked about. But for the father as well, there just shouldn't be that expectation. There shouldn't be labels on either of them. It should just be able to say that both parents get that paternal leave and be able to go home and spend time with their baby. And then as well as we're getting better and better at not having salary differences based on gender, and that shouldn't be any different when it comes to paternal leave. It shouldn't depend on your gender whether you should be able to go and spend time with your baby and your spouse. So like I just said, we should stop calling it maternity leave and paternity leave. It should just be paternal leave, and that should be able to be more than just 9% of all work sites. That should be something that's widely acceptable, and especially in the last year, we've seen that the economy can thrive while working from home. And I think that's a better step. I don't think it's the best option, but I think it's better than when we currently are staying with paternity leave specifically, that those fathers who are missing out on work that are missing out on time with their baby shouldn't miss out on that. And they should at least be able to work from home for that 9 to 12 weeks. Right now, that's the most common time frame for maternity leave, for paid maternity leave, is 9 to 12 weeks, and that needs to be at the very least extended to fathers as well as just the other spouse. In this case, it's long overdue. Paternal leave needs to just be part of the job interview. Should be part of your job. That in case that you have a baby or adopt a baby, you should be able to know that you have that extended 9 to 12 weeks taking care of the baby. And my last point is just simply, kids are the future, and there's no excuse for starting later. Babies should be taken care of, children should be taken care of, and they're the future. So let's do our best to make their upbringing as best as possible. Having both parents present in that 9 to 12 weeks and extended on to that is extremely important for their growth and their development. And they're the future. And so if we want our society to continue to succeed, we need them to succeed. So thank you.